Hi, I'm astrologer Penny Dix. Welcome to another Astrobite. And the Astrobite I'm going to talk about today is exact on the 14th of April. And it's our Saturn, our planet of boundaries, restriction, responsibility and discipline in Pisces, and it's conjunct the North Node in Pisces. Now we're going to have this energy for a few days. How does our karmic destiny, represented by the North Node, how can it be affected in an effective way by Saturn's conjunction with it? This to me feels like putting some structure into our long-term plans and dreams. So I feel this energy that we've got around for a few days is a really good time to initiate those plans, those long-term plans, to chase them up, even if it's just in your own mind, if nothing is unfolding yet. This is about your destiny. This is about where you want to go. And it's about our collective destiny and where we want to go. I think on the world stage, we're going to see more people standing up and saying no to events or decisions that are made by politicians, let's just say anywhere, in whatever government. People are going to start saying, no, not doing this, not good enough. So it feels like it's a turning away from placating the leadership, because Saturn has had enough. It's in Pisces. It's had enough of Pisces, actually, because in Pisces, with this numinous kind of dreamlike energy, which can sometimes bring illusion, confusion, and dissolution, Saturn desperately wants to remind us of the potential we have with the projects and plans that we want to initiate, and put a backbone into them. So a really good use of this energy would be to actually look at those major plans that you want to bring into your life, to manifest, and do something really constructive about them today, the 14th, when this conjunction is exact. We've got Venus now direct backing that up. You know, it's coming up behind Saturn. So it is supportive of this energy and making it attractive to the world in general to be drawn into what you are wanting to initiate. Mercury is on the absolute kind of boundary, the anaretic degree of Pisces before it shortly moves back into Aries. And of course, we still have Mars being trined by Saturn in Cancer, but Mars is going into Leo very soon. And this is really going to shift a lot of the energy of procrastination, of reflection, and maybe just thinking, oh, well, everything will unfold the way I want it to unfold. But we're not actually putting anything into that. We're not consciously taking the actions that we need to, even if it's just in our thoughts and our thinking processes. So I do feel that this Saturn conjunct the node can be really helpful for us in putting the backbone and structure into that which we want to unfold in the future. Just coming back briefly to what may or may not be happening on the world stage, this is also about people firmly voting with their feet by walking away from situations or people that they do not resonate with, that they are not in agreement with. I think we're going to see tough actions unfolding throughout this week. Just let me go through a few more of my notes to get a deeper sense of this energy, because that's right. I think we have to see this as a major turning point. This is about your karmic destiny. And with Saturn conjunct this North Node, it's really welcoming you in, saying, engage, do it now. Surrender control to the outcome, but don't surrender the action. It's kind of like a paradox. We have to surrender to the flow of the divine, but at the same time take the positive actions that can help manifest that which we want to bring in to our reality. But it has to be disciplined, and we have to trust what we can't see, what might be going on behind the scenes. So I think also there is an energy in this Saturn conjunct the North Node of being able to actually look deeply at the illusions or the rose-tinted spectacles that we may have been looking at life through, courtesy of Pisces. We need to release that escapism. We need to get out of the daily routine of daydreaming our future into existence and take positive action. We have to do the inner work as well. That helps us to align with the path that we choose to manifest. So it's not about rigidly controlling the outcome, but it's about having a kind of sacred responsibility. We need to find a way to grow into someone who has that gentle touch, but we're resilient. We can get knocked down, but we will rise up and just dust ourselves down a little bit and move on. Because there's also an element in this energy of being able to lead. That may just be leading our own life and not listening to what others may be making suggestions that we should do or projecting onto us. People are very good at giving others advice that they don't actually take themselves. So it's about leading with empathy and faith, even when, because of this Pisces energy, things are somewhat unclear. Have that faith, because Saturn will help to build not just the structure of that which you wish to manifest, but a kind of psychic inner backbone. Well, I pondered upon our word for the day, and in the end I came up with accountability. looking for the essence of accountability, because there is something about Saturn energy that asks us to be accountable. And that means that we have to own our actions. We have to take responsibility for the effect we may have on others or on our lives or the decisions we make. We have to take responsibility for them. And we have to stand in that authenticity and integrity within. So I have the quotes as usual. And we have the first one, which is about personal responsibility. And this is by someone called Stephen R. Covey. And his quote is, "Accountability breeds response, breeds responsibility." I like that. Accountability breeds responsibility. But the way it's written is response-ability. And yes, Saturn wishes to teach us to take responsibility. We become more responsible through being accountable, and that's often just to ourselves. What about leadership and integrity? Well, Thomas Paine said, "A body of men holding themselves accountable to nobody ought not to be trusted by anybody." Does that remind you of any of the governments that are currently in power? Just saying. Answers in the chat. What about owning our own story? Owning the decisions we make? Owning the problems we create for ourselves and recognizing them and growing through them, as well as owning and giving ourselves praise when we make a beneficial decision. Robert Anthony said, "When you blame others, you give up your power to change." That is so true. Because, you know, I've said in many of the videos recently about the effect that the US administration is having on the world stock markets and economy, that it does not serve us to sit here and blame or criticize. Yes, we may feel certain emotions, and they are valid, and that you can have them, but it doesn't affect the solution or the outcome. Only we can individually make provision for bad weather. Only we can put our own umbrella up or peg our own tent to the field. So there is something here about the integrity of the soul, of taking responsibility for ourselves. Winston Churchill said about growth, the price of greatness is responsibility. Jim Rohn said about honesty with oneself, you must take personal responsibility. You cannot change the circumstances, the seasons, or the wind, but you can change yourself, which is another way of saying what I just said. There's another one here about emotional maturity. Now, sometimes we don't actually, some people never reach emotional maturity. I can think of quite a few in the public eye who have not gained emotional maturity. But, you know, emotional maturity is quite scarce. And once you find your way towards achieving it, the rewards are countless. So this is an unknown quote about emotional maturity. Accountability feels like an attack when you're not ready to acknowledge how your behavior harms others. And the final quote I've got is another unknown quote, but it's about self-discipline. And these are all Saturnian words and attributes. So this quote is, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Accountability is the steel that holds that bridge together. Well, I think that's quite profound, really, isn't it? And thank you so much for joining me for yet another Astrobite. And a thank you to those of you that joined me last night for my live stream and for the week ahead. And of course, you see, I'm actually recording this before I've even done the live stream, but I thought I'd throw that in because this will go out on Monday. And it's just quite funny to be this kind of time traveler. And please remember to like, comment and subscribe as you always do. And I'm super grateful. And I also want to just publicly say thank you to those of you that have recently donated to the channel. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate, really. So on that note, have a great day. Have a great week. Let's see what unfolds this week. Next weekend, it's Easter. Okay. Take care and I'll see you very soon. Bye for now. Bye.